Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Saturday Morning Coffee with Back to Basics Dog Training. And as always, thank you for inviting me into your home each and every Saturday morning to bring you this free live dog training Q&A session. It's always my pleasure to be here. So for those of you new watching now live or in living color or later on in the replay, I'm Leon. I'm the head trainer here at Back to Basics Dog Training. If you're watching me, like I said, now live or later on the replay, just shoot me a comment. Let me know you were here. Let me know you were watching, where you're watching from, what town, what state, whatever. I do try to share this across the country. I ask all you guys to share it with your friends and family around the country and around the world. So I'd like to see where we're getting people coming from. Good morning, Donna. How are you guys doing? How's my boy Stark? Wow, Shannon, thank you. First question right off the bat. I love it. I just adopted a 15-pound one-year-old Schnauzer mix on Sunday. Congratulations. She's amazing with people, but whenever she sees a dog or sees something that can be a dog, she barks like crazy. We've had a few interactions on a walk with other dogs, and she goes pretty crazy. Not goes for to bite the other dog, but was barking a bit aggressively. We've had one of the biggest dogs that they sniff. Each other is fine, but when the dog went to smell her undercarriage, she jumped, startled, yelped. Okay, so good morning, John. Good morning, Shannon. I'm reading Shannon's questions right now. Okay, so it sounds like she's unsure, and this is great because that was actually the topic I was going to get into today a little bit, was about socialization with the dog. So this is perfect. Guys, when we're socializing a dog, you just got this dog Sunday. We don't know the backstory, and even if we do, it doesn't make much of a difference to me anyway. The backstory is the backstory. We can't fix it. But what we can do to move her forward a little bit is one. Shannon, I don't know if you've been here watching before in the past. I know John has watched my YouTube series. I think Don has watched my YouTube series on how to leash train my dog. It's real important, guys, when we walk our dogs, especially new dogs, that we do everything in slow baby step processes. We don't know, the dog's a year old. It could have been in a shelter around other dogs. It sounds like she's probably a little intimidated, a little scared. And based on what you said, when she got sniffed, she yelped. She was scared. Good morning, Linda. So what I would do is do everything in slow, gradual processes. On the leash, it's great that they interact with each other to a point, but there can't be any excitement. They have to be 0% calm. And it sounds like she's in an unsure state of mind. So when you're bringing her over to another dog that you know is a gentle dog, she's still so unsure. She doesn't know what to react. And right now she's doing her flight mechanism, which is the yelping and leaping backwards. If eventually she feels like, oh my God, I can't get away, it becomes the fight mechanism, and we really want to avoid the fight mechanism. So how I would suggest doing this is, one, if you have a neighbor that has a calm, chill dog. Good morning, Doreen, and Teddy. If you have a dog that's a neighbor's dog or a friend's dog or a relative's dog that's a calm dog, I would definitely suggest doing some walks with a calmer energy dog first. How you do it is definitely go to my YouTube channel, subscribe to my YouTube channel, watch my Mastering the Walk playlist, which is called How to Leash Train My Dog. I broke it down to 5 different steps, but it all starts with a calm state of mind. If she's excited to go for the walk, her state of mind is not calm. We need to have everything based on calm. So this way, when she sees another dog and she starts this reaction, the barking and the sound of aggression and all this type of stuff, you can make a very simple correction. Say no, calm her down. Everything stops at that point. She has to be calm before you can move forward. And what I would suggest doing, instead of having another dog come right over and sniff her while she's in an unsure state of mind, is if she's calm, go for a walk with the dogs. On leash, it's not about the interaction and getting into each other's private junk and stuff like that. It's more about that pack walk mentality. So if we can get her to walk calmly with another dog side by side, and when I say that, I don't mean the dog side by side. What I would do is dog, human, human, dog. It tends to make them, they can smell from a distance. They don't need to be right in each other's personal business to smell each other. It kind of gets her, oh, I can walk, I can coexist with this other dog without being afraid or being unsure of the situation. And then you start doing that. And then if you think they're calm, bring them into a secure area, walk them around the secure area first, take them off leash and see how they do. But be diligent, supervise it. But if you see she's unsure, don't do that. Take the time, do the process to make her understand I can be around other dogs and I don't need to act this way. Yes, it's normal they get excited when they see other dogs. That's how they are. It's, you don't want the verbal, you don't want the forward motion. You want them to get excited without motion, or verbal, if that makes sense. Let me know in the comments if it makes sense, Shannon. But definitely, I would say subscribe to my YouTube channel. Watch the How to Leash Train My Dog playlist. Start at episode 1, master episode 1 before you go to episode 2. Same and go so forth. Like I said, it's 5 episodes. It has been a great help. Yeah, try not to just walk. It's common. I live in an apartment complex here too. Um, and we have to pass other dogs, and there's a lot of dogs in this complex that react when I walk past Zoe. It's a very common thing, but if you really want to help her and you have somebody who can help you, I really suggest it. Yes, you live in Queens, so when you're walking, there's people out with their dogs. But if you start with my Master in the Walk series and start everything at a calm state of mind, guys who've been following me all along know I talk about how energy is the most important form of communication we have with our dogs. And what I mean by that is if you're calm, they're calm. If you're nervous, they're nervous. If you're unsure, they're unsure. They read our energy more than they listen to the words that come out of our mouths. And they have to understand that you're in charge. You're never going to put them into a situation that's going to be where they should be unsure. And that's what I wanted to talk about socialization today. Is, I read an article I think this morning on Facebook, and it, like, whoa, blew my mind. Everybody wants to socialize their dogs, and it's real important. Dogs are social animals. They need to be socialized, folks. That was the problem we had with. I definitely try that. She's super excitable for her walks, and we keep trying to her calmer and calmer beforehand. I will check out the videos. Yeah, because Shannon, on the videos, to make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel as well, because hopefully I will be putting out more and more content on YouTube shortly. The whole walk that I designed is about calmness. It's about leadership and bonding, but it's in structure, but it's about calm. If she's excited to put the leash on her, don't put the leash on her in an excited state of mind, because you're rewarding her excitement. If as soon as you open up the door, she bolts through the door at 700 miles an hour, you can't continue to walk because she's excited. And if the walk starts off excited inside your home, think about the excitement outside with more stimulus. You have to stop it. Episode 1, episode 2 are so crucial in mastering the walk. Episode 2, I know a bunch of my customers can attest to it. I know Doreen can. I know Donna can. It is so crucial. It's about threshold management and teaching a dog, one, front door open doesn't mean out. It saves their lives, but it also represents that going out to the outside world has to be calm. Donna says, we have Stark barking up a storm at any sound outside the house and unfamiliar lights that are outside. I know not to say no, as he's doing a great job letting us know something is going on, but it's not stopping until it goes away. Your thoughts? Okay, so something is stimulating him outside, the noises, the sounds, the lights, whatever. Again, I don't use the word no for barking because I want them to bark. He's doing his job. He's letting you know, hey, something's weird out there. That's where the word enough comes. And again, it's hard to set them up for success because you need those stimuluses to be there. You guys have an advantage. You do use the e-collar, so you can let them bark at these things, and then when enough is enough, good boy, praise him because he did good. He's telling you, no, something's weird out there, and get him used to the word enough, meaning basically the same thing as no, but you have to have the discipline behind it. Melissa, it's my pleasure to bring this to every Saturday morning live. I mean, like I said, I just ask you guys, share it with your friends and relatives around the country. fellow dog lovers, fellow animal lovers around the country and around the world. Um, so with Stark, what I would do is have the collar on him, and when he does it, if you know there's no reason for him to be barking because it's just you live on a cul-de-sac, lights hit. No, enough. Good boy, praise him, and when he's calm, so it's okay to use the collar when saying absolutely. Enough is a disciplined word, but it's not a word that I want to use like no. No to me or nope is final. You're never allowed to do this again. And that's why, if you guys notice, when I say no to a dog for doing something, I'm not saying praise. What I'm saying with the word enough is the discipline. That's the sound. There's a correction measure. And as soon as he stops barking, we're praising him for listening to the word enough. It's an obedience command. I don't even want to say it's a discipline word. It's an obedience command. It's no different than saying come. They come, they get praised. Even if they bolt out the door. We will save enough just for his barking. Yep, that's it. Enough is just for barking, guys. Don't use it for anything else. Like I said, use the KISS theory of training. Keep it simple. No or nope for any behavior you don't like. It's not leave it. It's not off. It's if you don't like the behavior, it's no or nope. For the barking at objects outside the house, I don't want to use the word no or nope because to me, again, that's a final. You're never allowed to do it again. So enough is enough. Thanks for doing your job, if that makes sense. So exactly. Don says there's a huge difference between obedience and discipline. There's a huge difference between obedience and behavior, guys. Obedience, most dogs are very obedient. Most dogs are. You tell them to sit, they sit. How long they sit is part of the behavior. If you want them to sit until you give them a release, but they don't, that's behavioral. If a dog is pulling on the leash, if the dog is barking at other dogs or acting weird when we're walking, that's behavior. That is not obedience. And I think those two words get mixed up a lot. Obedience is great. Discipline is or behavior is more important to fix. Those are the things I deal with, is the behavioral issues. The obedience is important. Don't get me wrong. I'm not diminishing obedience. It's real important. My dog's obedient. It sits, it stays on command. It does all these things on command. But if it doesn't do it the way you want it, you tell it to sit, stay, and the stay is 3 seconds, your dog's not behaving. If that makes sense. So there is a huge difference. So don't get those two mixed up. So getting back to socialization for a minute. So one of the things, and I know I shared this out with a lot of rescues out there, and I'm sure you guys saw it during the pandemic. Everybody went and got, in the beginning of the pandemic, everybody went and got a dog. Excuse me, because we're home, we have the time, we have the energy, we think, to do this. And now that the world started opening up, all of a sudden our shelters and our rescue groups got extremely busy again. Well, one, during the pandemic, we really didn't socialize as humans, so we really didn't socialize our dogs very well. I'm a firm believer you should socialize your dogs. You should bring them out with you as much as possible. I know a lot of people give me the BS excuse. I have a big backyard. They get to run, they get to play, they get to do this. That's not socialization. That's the playground at school. Burn off some steam. Socialization is getting them out into the world. That's, let's face reality, is a scary place for them. And it's great that a lot of these bigger stores allow our dogs to go with us into the stores, Home Depot, Lowe's, Petco, these different types of stores. And it's important to bring your dogs to these places as long as you have control of your dog. But I want you to start watching your dog. The article I read this morning, and I've actually seen it and didn't put two and two together until I read the article, is I've seen people bring their dogs into the big box stores and they, the owner's all puffed up and proud. But if you watch the body language of the dog is so damn unsure of this. And it can actually create this great positive experience and make it into a negative because you're almost forcing the dog to go into this place and they're unsure of it. So while socialization is real important, it's important to listen to what your dogs are saying with not only their energy, but their body language. And if you take your time and you watch your dog, you're walking into Lowe's or Home Depot, and you watch your dog. If your dog starts acting like, hey, I'm unsure about this, take a few steps back, regroup, and then start the process over, but also check your energy. Don't overthink it. Deep breath. Let's go. If they're unsure, and you have the right, because one of the things I notice when people bring dogs into these stores is everybody wants to pet the freaking dog. You have a right to say no. You do have that right. It's not insulting. It's not being rude. It's not being disrespectful. You're there to advocate for your dog. And if they're unsure, people approaching them to pet them could scare the crap out of them. And that's when you get to hear the horror stories of a dog biting somebody in a store or whatever. It's because we're missing the cues of what the dog is actually saying to us without using words. So you got to take your time. And I've seen this a lot. How many people who are watching now or later on in the replay, and you can put it in the comments, their dogs are terrified to go to a vet. I'll tell you now, all the dogs I've had in my life, no dog is ever terrified to go into a vet. Why? Because I make the vet a good experience. I read my dog's language as we walk in, but I also think when I walk into a vet, this is the best place to be. This is good for you. There's no reason to be afraid, and my dogs go in. I've seen dogs terrified to go into vets, and there's no reason. That comes from the human. If you do have a dog that is terrified of a vet, and you have a vet that's dog friendly, not all about the almighty dollar, you can actually ask your vet if you can come with your dog when there's no appointment, just to reintroduce the vet as a calm place. But you have to be calm first. So I hope all this makes sense, guys. It's real important to the dog. It's real important to you guys to do these steps. Take your dogs out in public. If you're worried about your dog biting, muzzle condition your dog. It'll relax you. But take your dog out in public. Make sure they're safe. Make sure they're secure. Use the right type of collar so they can't slip out. Martingale collars are really good for them. Don't use these harnesses. I prefer you not unless the dog has an actual trachea problem. But you take the dog out in a safe, controlled manner and watch what your dog is telling you. If you're walking into a store and they're looking and their tail's tucked a little bit and their ears are down and their head is sulked down, maybe you don't go into the store. It's not what you need to do. It's what we're trying to condition these dogs to accept our world. Stark is not terrified, but not as comfortable as he should be. We didn't get him during COVID, and therefore he did not have to wait in a waiting room with others. Yeah. One of the problems with COVID with vets, and I'm still not 100% sure why this is, a lot of vets aren't allowing people to accompany their dogs. Okay, John, I'll get to that. That's a great question. One of the things with these vets is they're not allowing people in, and I don't think that's the right thing for the dogs, because we're handing our dogs off in parking lots. A stranger with a mask on and everything else is taking our dogs. They're not going to take the vet techs, who do a wonderful job, and probably not going to take the time if the dog gets to the front door. They're going to drag the dog in, which is now going to create the negativity on the vet as well. Why they can't let us in with, some of these vets won't allow their parents in with the dogs, I have no idea. I know if I took my kid to a pediatrician, I'm going in. I don't give a crap. Same thing with my dog. It took me a while down here. We found a vet that allows us to go in with our dog, and that's how it would be. John, you need to desensitize him to getting his nails cut. So a couple of things you can do to help in the process. It's not about cutting the nails right now. It's about desensitizing him to the nail clipper. For whatever reason, he's afraid of it. Could be the energy you use, or when you go to cut it, because, oh my God, he may bite me. That's a horrible energy because he senses you're nervous. It'd be no different than if I was a surgeon and I come over and you're still semi-awake and I'm going to do the surgical procedure and you see my hand shaking. Oh my God, I may kill this person. You're not going to want me to cut you open. So you got to check your own energy. This is one of the things I would say, muzzle, if you can, muzzle condition your dog so you'll relax and you don't have to worry about being bit. But the other thing you can do is take the clippers just take the cutters out, let him smell them, pet him with them, run down his paws with him, play with his paws without the nail clippers. Once he gets comfortable with just the nail clippers being out and not the process of cutting the nails, then what you can do is you play with his paws, you got the nail clipper out, just put the clipper over the nail. Don't cut the nail. If he does good, praise, praise, praise. If you want to use treats, that's fine. And then eventually you're going to put the clipper over the nail and put just a little pressure. Again, we're not cutting, we're just so he feels the pressure. If he's not pulling away, good boy, good boy, good boy. Do that a few times until he becomes desensitized, and then just go for the tip. Don't worry about cutting it for length in the beginning. Just tip it, because if you cut wrong and God forbid you hit the quip, that's painful. So in the beginning, to desensitize him, just do a little snip on the tip. Snip on the tip. You may not get all 4 paws done right away. It may take you a while. Guys, one of the biggest reasons, one of the best things to do is walk your dog on concrete or blacktop. It files their nails down. So stops a lot of the cutting issues. But you can desensitize them to it, John. It's a process. And, when you have the clipper on, if they're pulling away, they're not good at that point. So don't use a lot of words when doing this. They're good when they trust you that, oh, okay, you just put the clipper on my nail. Good. Then we got the pressure, not pulling away, not pulling away. Good. Yes. Whatever sound you use, whatever energy you use to show them, you did really good, pal. I am so proud of you. And it takes some time, but it works. And you can use treats. You can use high value treats if you want, broiled chicken, something really good for them, cheese, something that is worth, I use treats for what's high value to me. So if cutting my dog's nails, high value to me, I'm going to use a good treat. I don't use treats for a lot of things, but what's important to me, I'll use treats for. So I hope that answered the question, John. It's a labor of love. I do believe, guys, I've talked about it before on this platform, muzzle conditioning the dog is really good for the human. It's not that the dog's aggressive. It's not that the dog is a biter. It has nothing to do with it. If you fear your dog will bite you or bite somebody else, the muzzle will make you relax as their handler, because now they can't. I do recommend basket style muzzles. Baskerville is the brand. I think I said it right. Because they can eat. Well, they can drink, they can pant. You can give them treats through it. Those nylon ones that they use at some of the vets and some of the grooming shops, I can't stand them. I understand why they use it. It's a quick thing. But the basket, if you desensitize them to the muzzle, get them used to wearing the muzzle, you'll relax. If you're relaxed, they trust you more. If you're nervous, if you're jerky, the guys, this is why that blurb's up there. Energy is the most important communication. I should change that. It's the most important communication tool that we have to talk to our dogs. Again, if you're nervous about cutting your dog's nails, they're going to be nervous about you cutting their nails. I wouldn't trust you. If you're nervous when you're walking your dog, oh my God, I see another dog, they're going to react the same way. It's all about your energy. Guys, I always say we have to learn to check our egos at the door and just do what's right for the dog. And if you follow these steps, like I know Donna has, and I know a lot of my regular customers have, they understand that the communication with your energy is so important. If you're that person that says, well, what if, you're going to create the what if. If you ask the question why, you're wasting time. Why is not a good question. This is the behavior. I don't care why you're doing it. I don't like it. Let's teach you a different way to do it. That's all it is. We want to turn all these no's, guys. I say this week in, week out. I want to turn all these no's, these nopes into yeses. I like yeses better. Donna says the best here. Energy has been the key. When I first met him, the energy in the house, and I'm not saying anything negative, was almost as if they were afraid. I mean, Donna, correct me if I'm wrong. You were upset that you thought maybe Stark would have to go back. You were afraid of Stark because he had typical puppy biting behaviors, but had no bite inhibition. It was a very, the energy wasn't where it needed to be, and the eye opener for. Do you have a YouTube video on muzzle training? No, I'll put it out there. I'm going to try to do something this week just to talk about it, and we'll record it. I'll get it set up here. I need to do it. Matter of fact, I think I have the right size muzzle. I'll uses Zoe as the guinea, as the subject for muzzle conditioning, just to show you guys how to get started on it. And I'll post it out on my Facebook page as well as the Remember Me Rescue Facebook page. Of course, it'll be on YouTube too. Leon, you'd be so proud of Rich. I really am proud of him. So he's laying down with Stark. Energy is what allows this to happen. This is a treat for Rich. Absolutely. When I first met them, there's no way in hell Rich could have laid down with Stark on the ground, because Stark would have, I'm going to use the word mauled him, but not viciously. Stark would have got so damn excited about it, and he had no bite inhibition. He had no no off switch with his excitement, I think is what I'm trying to say. So his excitement just was off the chart. And like Donna says here, they were shedding a tear on their deck, not knowing if they bit off more than they can chew with Stark. And then, they contacted me. And when I walked in the house at Stark, again, this isn't for a pat on the back, guys. It's just how important energy is. Stark instantly, when I walked in, took control of the leash, changed. Yeah, Stark's over. I got news for you. Stark's overexcitement is what got him in trouble, gets him in trouble. Absolutely. And 99% of the dogs I work with, their overexcitement is what gets them in trouble. One, because the humans don't know how to handle the overexcitement, and they try to control the overexcitement with anger and frustration. And as everybody knows, I have no patience in my life for anger and frustration. I think I have it up here, and here it is. That's my trademark. No anger, no frustration, but no nonsense. It's so important. If we can all learn to control our dogs without the anger and the frustration. The anger and the frustration is what I talk about with the question of why. And, it's the same theory. The no nonsense approach is no means no. Guys, stop trying to figure out why your dog's doing something. If you say no, mean no, but teach them how to turn those no's into yeses. It is so important. So if I'm working with a leash reactive dog, like we started off with Shannon's question earlier, and I get to the point where I'm out walking and we pass another dog and my dog doesn't react, that's turning the no into a yes. Yeah, trying to work on food, not overexciting. Remember, guys, food isn't exciting. It's primitive. It's they need it for life, to sustain life. So it is an excitable thing. You just got to work on it. Keep working on that. And then when he's calm around the food, again, make sure you have dog safe, friendly stuff. When he's calm around the food, there's no reason. If you want to reward him, give him the food when he's calm. Only when he's calm. So he learns, I'm not allowed to be excited around. If I'm excited, I don't get anything. At least if I calm down, I get something every so often, because we don't want to do this all the time. There's nothing wrong with it. So, when you're cooking your family dinner and a lot of the spices we use, we can't give to our dogs, have some boiled up chicken ready. And when he's calm and he's being good and he's doing what he's supposed to do, what a good boy. Yes. Turn the yes no's into yeses. There's nothing wrong with that, because that's important to you. So you do that. When you're eating family dinner, if he stays calm the whole time, put some stuff in his bowl, let him enjoy it. So he understands that, hey, when I'm calm, I get. That's the same thing I talk about on the walk. And Don, I know you know this. You can't go through that threshold if they're excited. That is what I do. Should I do it, though, every time or intermittently? In the beginning, more often than not, but eventually you just want him to work for your praise. So you want to slowly. So, it's almost like the come command, guys. I say when we're teaching a puppy to come, the recall command, you're going to make a big deal out of it. Yeah. I give them a treat at the same time. So you're excited because they came to you. You can do the same thing with the food. Overexcitement with the food is watch your own overexcitement, of course. Good boy, good boy, good boy. Give the treat. And eventually maybe in the beginning, 3 out of 5 times give it, and then eventually start weaning away from the treats. Let them work for your praise. There's nothing wrong with dogs working for your praise. Because again, if you're happy with them, your energy is going to say they know the difference. Without you saying a word, you don't have to say anything. You don't have to do the good boy, good girl stuff, because your energy is going to tell them and they're going to know it. But it's nice because we like hearing ourselves talk. Um, so yeah, but if the dog is excited before we go out the front door, your walk is horrible. We already know that. We've proven this. Back to Basics has proven this with hundreds of people. So if you work on the excitement in your own home, controlling that excitement where there's less stimulus, it's easier when we get to the outside world. And remember, guys, this platform here. If anybody needs more clarification on anything I discuss on any of these live chats that I do, reach out to me via email or text. I'll put my information up here. And we can always set up, for those who are not in this immediate area, a Zoom session. Zoom sessions are definitely economical. Just to work one-on-one, dedicate the time for you and your dog. Because if you understand what your dog is saying, and I can help you understand and bridge that gap in communication with you and your dog, sometimes the one-on-one Zooms definitely help when I can't be there live and in living color in your house. I've done some Zooms with people on this platform, and I think from what I've heard, it's been successful because it's you understanding what your dog is saying, not me, your dog understanding what I'm saying. So do I have to physically be there? Not necessarily. So we can always set up Zoom sessions. It's an economical way of doing training. It's been successful. Just reach out to me. We'll try to keep putting more and more content out on YouTube as well. That's something that's my goal for 2022 is get more content out on YouTube. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to leave my contact information up here to the end of this, so you guys can write it down or take a screenshot or whatever the hell we do in today's world. If there's no other questions, guys, we're at the magic half hour mark. We're going to wrap it up soon. But of course, if there's questions, I'll be happy to sit here and answer them all. But if not, we're going to wrap it up. As always, thank you for inviting me into your home this Saturday morning and every Saturday morning. It's truly an honor for you guys to allow this to happen. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And as always, guys, stay healthy, stay safe. God bless. And remember, together we can help one dog and one family at a time. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. We'll see you next week.